friction. See, in our daily life, we have to move our bodies, or you can say anything, from one place to another, like pushing a box. But we find that the box doesn't move with a little efforts, right? This implies that there is some opposing force between the body and the ground, which makes it difficult to move from one place to another, the box. This opposing force is called friction, or we can call it force of friction. Let us know more about the friction. Do we know how things move? The ball is moving on a ground and there is no external force is acting on it. Will the ball come to a halt slowly? Yes, it will. You will wonder why. If you are skating on a ice and your friend is skating on a road, whose movement will be smoother? Definitely yours. When you hold a bottle in your hand, and why doesn't it slip down and fall? Sometimes you are walking around in a mall, you may have seen caution sign on the board, shows about the fobbing mob. What explains all these? The answer is friction. The reason is to stop the ball eventually is because of the force of friction. The reason sliding in ice is easier because of force of friction is lesser there. The reason bottle doesn't stop through because friction between your hand and the bottle doesn't allow it to do so. And if the floor is wet, the water reduces the friction between floor and the sole of your foot, and these are the chances to fall on the floor. So what is friction we are talking about? It is quite easy to understand its concept. The friction is nothing but a force. It is exerted by the surface on the object which moves across it. The first case, ball is moving in the direction and the frictional force is working in opposite direction. The force of friction is lesser on ice floor than the force of friction on the road. Hence, skating on the ice is easier. The bottle doesn't fall down because friction is offered by your hand in the opposite direction, and the slopey floor in the mall because water reduces the friction on the floor. So this was the friction, right? It is often thought that friction is a nuisance and should be reduced to minimum, but frictionless world is not to be convenient. Many of our daily life activities are dependent on friction. We are able to walk, apply brakes in vehicles, holding things in our hand, nails and screw tightening, and even writing is possible because of friction. So we can say friction is a friend and foes both. That's all from this chapter, friction. Goodbye.